A woman spent more than 70 years searching for her older brother, a soldier who went missing in World War II. She kept her promise to find him, and today Kevin Reese was there as she said her final goodbye.
Lord, thank you for the short, wonderful life of Dale Ferris.
A very short life that his sister Judith Bingham told us was followed by a lifetime of waiting.
74 years. I was determined to find him, and I couldn't believe it. I just couldn't believe it.
Her big brother disappeared after a battle in the Hurtgen Forest in Germany in World War II. Their distraught mother lived out the rest of her days not knowing what happened or where his body might be.
Every time she talked about Dale, she cried, and I hated seeing her hurt. I told her that when I got grown, I was going to find Dale and I'd find out where he was. And I never forgot that I told her I'd do it.
It took modern technology to discover that Private Kenneth Dale Ferris had been buried in Europe as an unknown back in 1946. He came home to Texas this past Friday when experts matched his little sister's DNA. She'd kept her promise after all.
It's the most thrilling moment of my life.
And Monday at DFW National Cemetery, they honored him as a hero, celebrated that what was lost is now found.
He ain't lost. And we're going to see him again.
It's been a long time, but we did find him, and we did bring him home.
In the United States, there are more than 72,000 other families waiting for a day like this. Family whose sons and soldiers never came home from World War II. So in her grief, a little sister, comparatively, considers herself fortunate.
So thankful that we'll have a place where we know he is.
Where he is here, with the rest of a nation's heroes. And finally, home. At DFW National Cemetery, Kevin Reese, Channel 8 News.